Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Lashana here with ParentPorch. I am so excited to chat with you guys today. I actually did this with a group earlier today, and I said, you know what? This would be really cool to talk and chat with some of our parents and caregivers for ParentPorch. So, I know you guys are probably familiar with the 5 love languages, right? Drop me a 1 in the comments if you're familiar with the 5 love languages. And I always like bringing my phone when I do these lives so I can actually see what you guys are chatting about. And whether you're here live or on the replay, what I love about Parent Porch is it's a non-judgmental playground, okay, for parents and caregivers. And it's a support system, right? So the reason why I want to talk about the 5 love languages is because most times when we think about the 5 love languages, we automatically think about how it works in relationships, acts of service, gifts, um, quality time, right? What if I told you that in order to prioritize how you operate with your love languages with someone else, you have to know how you want to love yourself. So today we're going to get a little mushy, okay? And I want to know, I have 2 questions for you guys. And you know what? How rude of me. I just literally jumped in. I didn't say anything about myself. I'm a business therapist and mindset coach. I have 20 years of mental health experience, and I also am a certified parenting coach. I have 1 kid. She's 22, going on, sometimes I'm like, she's going on 12, and sometimes she's going on 55. So if you feel me, you feel me. And what I love about the work that I do is every single day I get to wake up and support others with wellness. Who needs wellness more than anyone? Parents, caregivers, right? We need it more than anyone because not only do we wear all these titles, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're in corporate or you are a stay-at-home mom, we still have to always take care of self and someone else. And someone else, maybe it's the pet, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your significant others. But the thing is, and I know this sounds cliche, you can't pour from an empty cup. How can let's just take this off. How can I help anyone and give anyone water from this, right? If it's empty, there's nothing for me to pour. And so, in order for us to be the best parent, the best woman, the best man, the best professional, we have to serve ourselves first. And that's why today I want to talk about the 5 love languages, but I want us to focus on the love language number 1, which is the one that you do really well in. Like, oh, this love language, no brainer. And then I want to know what is the love language that you struggle in because it's an area that either A, you're not familiar with, you avoid, or you might not even be aware that you need it, right? So, pop quiz, and I see you guys on YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. What are the 5 love languages? I'm gonna give y'all some time. Pop it in the chat, and I'll be sharing it with you as well. But I want to know, how keen are you guys with the 5 love languages? And I had the book earlier, and I let somebody borrow it, so I'm gonna go off the top of my brain. I might miss one. Okay. Acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time, gifts. Which one am I forgetting? I'm having a mom brain. So, I'm going to go to, and mind you guys, listen, I'm not pretentious. I don't get on here with a notebook like, oh, I got to talk about this. I got to talk about this. At the end of the day, we are more alike than different. And I think once we throw out that perfectionism piece, we'll be able to go so much further, right? So let's see which one I'm missing. Words of affirmation, quality time. Oh my God. I forgot physical touch. Physical touch. So which one do you feel like you do extremely well in? For me, two that I do well in. Words of affirmation and quality time. I'm going to pump myself up. And I think, honestly, hold up, y'all, I gotta turn my fan on. I think it's because of the work that I'm in. I'm always like someone's cheerleader, someone's coach, someone's confidant, someone's support system, someone's accountability partner with the work that I do. So I think coaches get the double dip. This is like a sidebar, right? We get the double dip because when we're serving, when we're helping, we get to help ourselves. So because I'm always operating in words of affirmation world, that's like one that I do well for myself. And then quality time. I make sure I have alone time. As soon as I get off this live serving and chatting with y'all, guess what? Hopefully the second episode of The Bachelor came on. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna watch some TV. And I used to not watch TV at all because I was so busy, and now I get to do it as self-care. Not get to do it. I choose to do it as self-care. That's gonna be some alone time. So I want you guys to think about what is the one that you do well in. Let me see what we got in the comments. And mind you, if I don't like chat with you right now in the moment, I will see it later. So definitely rock and roll, chat it up. Now, when I was with my group earlier today, they were like 0. None of those are an area that I like give myself love and care in. And so I want to ask you guys, why do you think when it comes to parenting that we assume as a parent we come last? And mind you, I would love to hear from those who are like, oh girl, I don't feel like I come last. I put myself first because that's great. But if statistics show, like if we really look at it, most parents either A, are burned out, overwhelmed, no one matters but them. And I think that's a problem, right? And this is the thing, it becomes reactive versus proactive. I'm gonna put hey y'all in the chat on YouTube so I can make sure I see y'all's comments. What do I mean by that? Reactive of I don't do any self-care until I'm just burned out, uh stressed out. It's up here. I don't put in any PTO at work until I'm just like, oh, I can't take it anymore. What if you infuse acts of service, self-love, filling your cup? You infuse it into your life, into your lifestyle, into your routine to where when you're stressed out, the cup is not empty, it's filled up to where you can pour for others, right? Now, it takes you being intentional for sure. But I also want you to think about the modeling that you're doing for your kids and family. If we're not showing them that that is the way to go, then guess what they'll do? They're going to repeat the cycle and be a busy bee and be overwhelmed and be overworked. And so I had to check myself very recently. I have a 22-year-old daughter, and there was a season where she had to tell me that I was doing too much, that I needed to slow down, that I needed self-care, that I need to go ground. And I'm like, yikes, my kid is just observing me, my behavior, and this is the feedback that I'm getting. Now, mind you, in my mind, I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this so you don't have to struggle. Okay, I understand that, but sometimes that can become a trauma response. And I might talk about that on our next live. And actually, I'll just talk about it now. Being busy is not a badge of honor. Being busy, being busy is not something to brag about. Grinding till your wheels fall off, burning the midnight oil. That's nothing to brag about. It's actually a cry for help. And if you grew up in a household, maybe single parent household or something like that, right? Let me turn this off. If you grew up in a single household home, and maybe you've seen one of your parents do it, and then you started doing it, that is a cycle we have to break. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want my child to be burning the midnight oil and to be so stressed out that She has to run and, to put a Band-Aid on something that honestly didn't even have to occur. So, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because at the end of the day, you got to put yourself first for yourself, but you also, by putting yourself first, you are modeling for your family that it's okay for mommy to rest. It's okay for daddy to have daddy day and ain't no kids or no pets with them. Does that make sense? Um, I had to learn that being busy was wearing me down, and I can't be everything. Thank you for sharing that. Y'all, my brain was so accustomed to being busy that I went to therapy like 4 years ago. And mind you, yes, I'm a therapist. Every therapist needs a therapist. Every coach needs a coach, right? So I went to therapy like 4 years ago. And the chief complaint, in therapy, they ask you, why are you here? My chief complaint was, I don't feel productive. I feel lazy. Okay, stay with me. And the therapist is like, well, Lashana, you say you're an entrepreneur, you also work for corporate, you're a single mom, you speak at events. Tell me what's on your schedule on a typical week or typical day. Y'all, tell me why when I rattled off everything that was on my schedule, she said, oh my God, I feel overwhelmed just by hearing you explain that. She said, that's enough for 2 or 3 people. And that's where my aha moment was, that I was not lazy, that I was not unproductive, if that's a word. I was burned out. And because my brain and my nervous system was so used to always being on 10, that when things calm down, and even though years ago my brain and my body and my nervous system was like, because I was busy, it's still used to that kind of energy and that momentum. And so there was a disconnect. I was out of alignment because I felt like something was wrong when I was resting. And I want to share with you guys, rest is not a reward. It is a requirement. Packed schedule and still not feeling productive. That's a bar, right? Packed schedule, packed calendar. Kids are doing activities every day. You got your meal list. You're doing all the things and you still don't feel productive. Guess what? You are enough. You are productive. It's okay to rest. You can read a book for pleasure. It's okay if the kids end up eating cookies for for breakfast. Okay, I know you might be like, okay, girl, you doing a little bit too much. I'll be honest with you. If I get pregnant again, my new kid is going to be able to be a wild child. Because when I had my daughter 22 years ago, everything was pristine and perfect. And I wanted to make sure she had all this. And guess what? Wild child, where are my wild childs at? Okay, I'm kind of going on a sidebar, right? Now, how is this connected to the 5 love languages? It's connected to the 5 love languages because if you don't know the love language that you express with yourself the most, remember physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts. And I always like forget of the 5th one. Hold up, y'all. Quality time. If you're like, I don't know which one I do the best, that's a problem. And today we're going to fix it. My last question is before we wrap up tonight, and this is your homework. Which love language do you need to do more of for yourself? And don't assume don't assume that physical touch always has to be sexual. It doesn't. Physical touch could be you massaging your shoulders. Physical touch could be putting lotion on your hand and being fully present, right? Physical touch could be you going and get a pedicure or a massage. It doesn't have to always be sexual, okay? Words of affirmation. Okay. Mm. Thank you for sharing that's the one you want to work on. Now, if you know that's the one you want to work on, what I want to challenge you with in this season is to hold yourself accountable to work on it. Perfect example, guys. Today, someone said that they want to focus more on quality time and putting themselves first, right? And I gave out some journals to everybody, and someone came late. And the person that came late was like, "Oh man, I didn't get a journal. I didn't get a journal." And the person that said that they wanted to do more for themselves and wanted to focus on more quality time was like, "Oh, here, you can have mine." I said, "No." She's like, "Why not?" She's like, "Oh, I understand why. We don't have to always make sure that someone is okay, that someone has what they need. Put your mask on first. Take care of you first. And when you start to do that, that's you loving on yourself. That's you giving yourself positive affirmations. That's you spending quality time with yourself. That's you putting yourself first. And I'm just a big proponent of number one, don't say you want to do something around me because, baby, get what? You're going to do it. Don't say, "Oh man, I really want to start a business," or "Man, these kids, they're always arguing. I wish that I could implement a consequence system." Well, guess what? We're about to do it. My business is called Accountability on Demand. I'm going on a tangent. But so when I see in the chat words of affirmation, guess what? Now I'm going to be going on someone's Instagram and in their stories. And if I'm in a meeting with them, and I'm going to be that little spidey sense, even though it might be me being nosy, but it's just part of my DNA. Let's practice what we preach, because it's a domino effect of success when we're able to put ourselves first. We're happier, we're healthier, we're more productive, we're more motivated, right? Like sometimes when I do my Wellness Wednesdays, I am beat, I am tired. And I notice when I'm tired, it's less energy. Less energy equals less impact. It might be shorter. So it's a domino effect, guys, when we don't serve ourselves. And I was just telling my daughter, I'm just like thinking out loud. I just want to share with you guys. I was like, you know what? There's a lot of people asking of me, and I'm overextending myself. So now it's up to me to look at what's all on my plate and be like, get some things off of my plate so I can breathe. It'd be different if I have all these things on my plate and I have the capacity. But guys, we are wired to take on more than we can. We are wired to say yes, 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 because we don't want to seem as if we don't want to do it or don't know what we're talking about or that we're weak. Drop me a 2 in the comments if that's making sense. Okay? Whether you're live or on the replay. So think about the love language that you want to focus on. The one that I'm good and solid in is words of affirmation and quality time. The one that I want to do more of is physical touch. And what I mean by that is I want to get out and move my body more. I want to stretch more. I want to start either a Pilates class or a Zumba class. That's physical touch. You moving your body. Sorry. It's physical touch, right? So that is one that I want to work more in. All right. I need more quality time with myself. Yes. Yes. And so this is the thing. Quality time could be a bubble bath, and maybe you gotta lock your door. Okay. I'm just saying. So you don't get no little kids. Oh, can I get in there? Anyways, quality time could be turning the music off in the car instead of always being stimulated with stuff and just being. Quality time could be setting boundaries and saying no, or asking your significant other or your mom or your aunt, hey, can you pick up the kids? Hey, can you take out the laundry? Hey, can you make dinner tonight? That gives you more quality time. Okay? All right. So listen, guys, it's been a pleasure. We moved our Wellness Wednesdays to the first Wednesday of the month. The time is 8:30. I had a little snafu today, so I came on late, but I'm here and I gave myself grace and I didn't beat myself up. And what I want to end with is we gotta stop beating ourselves up for what's out of our control and for what is not that of a big deal. Pick your battles. If you beat yourself up for every single thing, where's the capacity for you to love on yourself and support yourself when it matters? I'm gonna let that simmer and sit with y'all. Okay? Have an amazing night. Parent Porch is here for you. We have some cool things drumming up. Make sure you're following our Instagram at Parent Porch on all socials. And then also we have some cool freebies and guides and discounts. Definitely stay tuned to our blog. And remember, you matter.